Cheers!
Welcome to Movie Bitches.
Episode 247.
Tonight we're reviewing Bloodshot.
Only 7 to 8 months late after its non-release into theaters. It might have had like a...
It was in theaters.
Oh, it was. Oh, good. Just like, but only for like a few days or something, right? It was like right when everything shut down, I feel like.
I think it was for like 2 weeks.
Oh, no!
And then they tried to make it seem like, oh, no, it was because of COVID that we didn't have a good box office. And everyone's like, yeah, that's why.
Sure, Dan.
We finally got around to watching Bloodshot. And I am disappointed, I'll be honest.
Yeah, well, I went in. Well, first things first.
Yes.
Shout out to our wine sponsor, Wink. Go to trywink.com/moviebitches. You get $22 off your first month of wine. Second thing second, shout out to our Patreon supporters. $5 a month or more gets you early access. $10 gets you access to our viewing parties. We did one for this.
Yeah.
What?
Oh my god.
I don't know.
Oh, no.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Smash cut
That
credits.
was not good.
No, actually, I think the viewing party will be fun. I think the movie was disappointing. I had lower expectations. I was like, it's not XXX. He's not going to be skiing down a jungle.
Oh, boy.
Like, I just know that that's not what we're going to get.
It's never going to happen again. It was too good. But my problem was, okay, so yes, we'll get into it. Bloodshot, the Vin Diesel action movie that seemingly has everything we enjoy. Stupid action, like over-the-top stuff. Guy Pearce is there. He has a robot arm. Fucking Toby Kebbell. Yeah! My favorite currently working camp actor, Toby Kebbell.
Never gets old.
So he is the first killer of the wife, and then the guy who gets killed in the tunnel with the flower in that really long scene in the tunnel with the flower.
Yeah, that was really long.
Anyway, so I was so excited because I was like, Toby Kebbell, I'm just saying, it's Kebbell, and if it's Keeble, I'm sorry. Toby Kebbell was in the lineup, and I was like, yes! Yeah, it's gonna be in this movie. And he's the guy from Hurricane Heist. I was like, so excited. He's gonna bring some life to this dull Vin Diesel performance because it's Vin Diesel. So sad that he died so early on. Truly, I was like disappointed.
Yeah. I mean, he did have that really campy dance number, and I was like, oh, what's going on here? What is this, the Joker?
To me, it was very much more just stealing the scene from Reservoir Dogs.
This movie was chock-a-block full of references.
Yes, which makes sense if... Okay, so Bloodshot, a movie that's based on a very famous comic graphic novel where a super soldier has died and they bring him back to life and they're basically the X-Men and they use him, they can control his thoughts, what he knows, his memory.
Yeah.
It wasn't fully explained why that was. I guess the nanobots, they can control what he knows, and so they pretend that everyone they're trying to kill. Oh boy, this was complicated.
I don't know. It was pretty clear to me.
They've brainwashed, not unclear, complicated. They've brainwashed a dead super soldier into believing that a series of people that they would like dead were in fact responsible for his wife's murder and his own murder, and therefore his revenge. He's the perfect assassin, I guess. You would think that would make him a messier assassin because he's full of emotions. Passion. And, I don't know.
But I think the goal was that they knew that he had the passion to do whatever it took to avenge his wife.
Right.
But they could control every other aspect of what he thought he was doing. And so therefore it was like, all we need is someone willing to give up their life for love.
But he was immortal? So it seems like not Chris Pratt guy with no legs would have done just as fine a job, I'll be honest. He seemed to enjoy killing, and if he was immortal, he would have been like,
But
sure.
he wasn't immortal. He didn't have the full Bloodshot.
No, I know, but if they had made him immortal, like he seems like he would be just as good at this assignment. So wait, why is it called Bloodshot?
Because he got a transfusion of the nanobots.
So it's a
shot of blood. Or because you can shoot him and the blood is shot, but it's also then gonna repel it with its glowing heart.
Next up, you're gonna tell me it's because they took shots. Like, it was a dumb title. It was dumb.
It was. This movie was dumb. This movie was mostly a video game. I do appreciate that there was thought put into the plot. There was
I think that comes from the comic. Like, I think that they had a plot to start with.
But I appreciate that at least.
But then I don't think they made, aside from hiring Toby Cabell, I don't think they made any great choices.
No.
In general.
I mean, I think
this is the only movie the director's directed. He is a cinematic supervisor. Basically, he's in charge of CGI.
That makes sense.
So that makes a lot of sense, because often in this movie I was like, was this in 3D? Was this released in 3D? No? Yes?
I don't think
there was
so.
So much like,
it
was very like Transformers. The action, I was like not into it.
I was not into the action. And for me, I think it comes down to that there were no stakes for the action.
There was no stakes. I didn't care about anyone. And I think maybe the worst part of this movie, the score. It was horrible. So boring. It was so bored with itself. It was like action scene. I was like during the big chase scene, I was like, this is, what's happening? This is boring. The score like stood out like a sore thumb for me.
I had a lot of issues with it. I do think that like the plot had thought and like it was fleshed out, but two things. First, the biggest problem was Vin Diesel. He had zero charisma, zero uniqueness, zero nerve. Well, he had a lot of nerve, but not a lot of talent. He's doing his like Batman voice. Did you notice it was like, I'm gonna talk in a slightly deeper timbre.
He's been doing that for the past 2 decades, Andrew. That's just his thing.
Program they no longer control. It's my army now.
That's why he gets most of the work he gets. Because he talks like this.
I am Groot.
Yo soy Groot.
Yo soy Groot.
I've never been a huge Vin Diesel fan.
No.
And I feel like I had a very strange revelation during this movie. Because he looks terrible also. Like, I'm sorry, but like they did him dirty in the lighting. Like, he looked no bueno. And I was like, wait a minute. Is Vin Diesel and Adam Sandler like morphing into the same person? Because they're starting to look alike, and they also seem like they've lost the joy of performance.
I mean, he definitely was giving 0%. Like, he was contractually obligated to do this, and so he was like, fine, I will go through the motions, but I am not giving you any...
Also, I think perhaps this movie, giving it some credit, perhaps this movie asked more depth from him than he's been asked in a while, and he was not up to the task.
Maybe.
You know, he was, oh, my wife is dead, I'm sad. Who am I? What's my identity anymore? Am I a robot? I'm sad. Oh, I'm mad about, you know, like he had some emotions going on, right? It was like the same, like, what do you mean, nanobots? I'm dead? Oh, like he was so fine with the fact that he was dead, and then just like, Anyway, yes, I'm gonna take a nap through this movie. Honestly.
I'm sorry to be the one to tell you this, but you got yourself killed.
Okay.
Honestly. So I was trying to
yeah.
recast it, and I was trying to think of like who would be better. I mean, honestly,
Michael Fassbender.
Toby Kebbell.
Oh. No.
Give it to him.
No.
Give it to him.
I think Henry Cavill could have really pulled off this role.
Wow. If you're duller than Henry Cavill. Wow.
But
Although I did watch,
sure.
inexplicably, Enola Holmes, the
Oh, did you?
little sister Sherlock Holmes movie, and Henry Cavill plays Sherlock Holmes, which makes no sense, like, at all. He's
Right.
in a suit, and you're like, this is hilarious. Oh, wait, no, it's serious. Okay. But it was actually cute. It was like,
Oh, okay.
14-year-old Avaryl would have been obsessed with this movie. And it was just like a good time. I liked it a lot.
Cool.
So there's
okay.
a recommendation for Enola Holmes. It's like it's a kid's movie, but I was like, that was cute. Great.
Love it.
Anyway.
Okay, well, here's the thing, too, that was weird, was that this movie starts off, and one, it's a video game, which then makes sense later on, but still, for the first 20 minutes, I was like, is this movie just a video game? What's happening? And we're supposed to believe that Vin Diesel is a Marine,
Right,
and also
that he hasn't
working
aged,
alone?
That he hasn't aged out of that career yet. That he's like a boots-on-the-ground Marine. You're like, not like, you know, it's like...
SEAL Team 6 Marine. And I'm like, what?
Well, yeah, the fact that he was alone, immediately I was like, that seems weird. Everything in the first 30 minutes, I was like, this seems weird. This is off. What's going on? Like, I picked up on it immediately, and then it turns out that was the point.
Because they showed us, like, the control room or whatever with the nerdy guy that was annoying. And it was like, oh, the microbots are, pulling up the Gulfstream, manual. And I was like, well, so is he just a puppet then? And then it turns out, like, yeah, basically. He's not alive. He is a robot now.
No, I mean, honestly, this really just made me want to watch Universal Soldier, and I was like, thinking about maybe I should just text you and be like, should we just review Universal Soldier instead of this? Because, we gotta watch Universal Soldier. This is Universal Soldier, it's The Matrix, it's source code, it's, at the end it became a Sam Raimi Spider-Man movie, and I was like, what's this? This is pure nonsense. Okay, sure. Huh? Okay.
He's like flying down the elevator, and then they're like, what it was like, what was that? Like, oh
Doc
God,
Ock?
what's the X-Men thing where where all of the stuff, the Storm, not Storm, what's her name? We saw it, Dark Phoenix.
Oh boy. Oh, that movie. Wow.
And he's like in the street, like collecting his little nanobots that are flying in the air, but you can see them. I was confused. I was confused.
None of it made sense.
No.
Also, like by the end, like who gives a shit about what? We don't need to go in order. By the end of the movie, when they were like, "Oh no, his nanobots are down to 1% life?" I was like, just let him die. Who cares? It's like, I was like, and then he died, and he was now at rest because he's already dead because he's made of nanobots?
Yeah, he saved the day. He killed everyone that was responsible for this technology. They blew up all the technology. Great. End of story. Close that chapter. Now he's dead. He's in Arlington. It should have ended with his gravestone in Arlington. And we're like, everything is how it should be. So, quick commercial break, and we will be back with more Vin Diesel. That's not a good thing. We should leave with something else. Come back because we'll be back with
I can't think of much to recommend, I'll be honest.
More of us, more wine.
More of us, yeah.
Come back for more wine.
It was a G.I. Joe movie too. You know those like dumb, like I haven't actually seen them, but like the new ones with like Channing Tatum and whatever, and it like looks stupid.
It looks like a video game.
It was also that movie, Cobra, Rise of Cobra.
Right. Yeah.
Words
I didn't see
involving,
those.
I didn't see them. I think The Rock is in one of them. I want to say that even Bruce Willis may perhaps be in one of them.
I would say that The Rock would definitely have been a better choice for this movie.
Yes.
He
Yes.
has, because The Rock,
Yes.
okay, like this is again the thing for me. Vin Diesel, I don't think is good, period. But also his role, his persona works when he's the outsider, when he's the triple X Xander Cage, oh, fine, you'll talk me into doing the right thing, but I'm on the wrong side of the, it's like that kind of thing, right?
Right,
Him
right.
as like a military guy, I just was like, I don't get it. It doesn't work for me. Even Dave Bautista would have been better.
I agree. Because he's actually a pretty good actor. I'm
is
into
a pretty
Dave
good actor.
Bautista. I like him.
Yeah, I think he would have been better. I think that The Rock would have been better. Like The Rock was in, or was it Dave Bautista in My Spy?
What? You saw that?
I saw it.
I don't
It was kind of cute. It's like kind of cute. It's the one with the little girl, and it's one of them. I think it's Dave Bautista. He was great in that, actually, in like that he was endearing. Like he seems like an actual person. Again, Vin Diesel, I didn't get a person.
Maybe that was a choice. His robotic performance was
Because he is a robot now.
purposeful because he is made of tiny robots. Perhaps. It started and there was, I'm going to say 5 production companies, and I said, oh no.
Yeah.
And then it actually started and I was like, at least this is weird. What's happening? He's like on a solo mission and you're like, this seems like a bad idea. And then
That's what we fight for, guys.
I need to get home.
he's like, hey guys, this is what we do it for. Sexy ladies in, it's like a white crochet dress. It was very Con Air, and the wife waits by a
Oh, that's
convertible.
right. I forgot about that scene.
Yeah. And we don't see her face. And I was like, oh, is this a mystery because it's like Ellen Barkin? Or is it a mystery because she's not actually dead, so we can't actually see her face? Like I read a lot into it.
They didn't program it. They left it vague.
No, but then later we see her face. So I was like, oh, was she just like not available on the day and they got like her stunt double or something? Like what happened? It was like really weirdly shot. Anyway, oh, sexy wife standing by the convertible. This is what we do it for, boys. Yeah. And then they're on the Amalfi Coast. I was like, oh,
Right?
all right. Also, fabulous. Can I go?
Yeah.
Would love to. So far I'm in, right? This looks stupid.
Yeah.
They're in an exotic location. Yes. Then they have the prerequisite scene of we need to show that Vin Diesel is good at sex. That scene with her granny panties. And this just like, I'm going to press my breasts against you. You are so good at sex, robot. Vin Diesel. It was so weird. It was so weird.
Are you questioning what my body can and can't do?
That whole scene, I was just like, did Vin Diesel write this into the movie? And then we get Toby Cabell doing a real campy dance to Talking Heads. And I was like, I'm here for whatever's happening. And then the rest of the movie, I was like, oh, this is horribly boring. No one can act.
I can't seem to face up to the facts. Pretty much. I will say the 2 guys, they were hot, at least.
I was worried you were going to say that they were good actors. I was like,
Oh, no.
Andrew?
No.
Andrew?
No, they were beefy, and that was, I think, the most of it.
I was all excited because even Guy Pearce, who traditionally I love, I was like, what happened?
Admittedly, some of the early results were suboptimal.
He was uncharismatic and
Yeah.
boring, and I didn't
I'm not going to
understand.
lie. It took me 3/4 of the movie to realize it was Guy Pearce.
I just cleared the path. I freed you to be your best.
My best!
Yes.
By making me watch them kill my wife over and over and over again.
I was like, yeah, he seems kind of familiar. And then at some point, very late into the movie, Brian was like, Guy Pearce, blah, blah, blah. And I was like,
Oh. He's got a robot arm, and it should be
Yeah.
exciting. I should be into what's happening. And he was just
Yeah.
going through the motions, it felt like.
it wasn't like Toni Collette, where she was just the campiest nonsense.
You think a dog knows how to work a frisbee? Master says fetch, and the bitch listens.
He needed to turn it up. I
Yeah.
was so bored by his performance. It was supposed to be Michael Sheen, which I would have been into.
Yeah.
because he knows what movie he's in always, period.
Always.
Always.
Remember how he was the only good part of Doolittle?
Yes!
Sir, I'm afraid your obsession with Doolittle...
What obsession? I'm not obsessed with Doolittle. You're obsessed with Doolittle. You're the one obsessing about my obsession with Doolittle.
Absolutely!
And The Fly.
And that one fly. But that fly was CGI'd, so we can't really give the fly credit.
It's a miracle. That must mean I am the chosen one. I'm gonna change the world.
Whale power.
Well, I will say the one time that I laughed really, really hard and was like excited for it to go in this trajectory, and then it absolutely didn't, was Vin Diesel like wakes up in the middle of the night and I'm gonna go work out because I had a nightmare. And he's doing the punching bag.
Oh my God.
And it busts open and he's like, oh fuck. And then he punches that concrete pillar.
Load-bearing
I was like,
pillar.
Dude, you could be collapsing the building right now. You don't know if that's a load-bearing pillar. And then he's just like, bop, 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 like using it as a punching bag. And I was laughing so hard. And I was like, oh, this is what I want. And then it was...
And those giant dumbbells where he's like, ooh-cha, ooh-cha. But his biceps did not look attractive or like, there was like gross with these like veiny bot arms. And I was like, oh no. Mm-mm.
Well, then we get her water ballet.
Her Tai Chi underwater? Yeah.
Her underwater Tai Chi. I was so glad they did not kiss at the end.
Right.
Like, absolutely not. Do not kiss. Please, no.
Yeah. But she also didn't give me much. She was
just sort of there, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, nothing was properly explained because then at the end, he's like got a swarm of nanobots around him and he's draining their power. I never got a grasp on like the whole we need to recharge you / never mind, it didn't matter at all. And then suddenly he's just fine. I was really confused about that. I don't think there's an answer.
That's what I was like, this is just a warning of like letting AI take over a body.
Right.
Like basically that's what it was. It's like fucking...
It was like Transcendence. Remember that
Oh my
piece of
God.
shit?
Oh. Lucy.
Ooh, but at least that was campy. I mean, this is gonna sound dumb, but Universal Soldier has a lot of heart and ass, and like you care about the fact that they've systematically taken all of these dead soldiers' bodies and reanimated them, and what that means, and like have they crossed a line of they've gone too far, and they're sad about their past lives that they were stolen from, and their parents, and there's like thought put into it, and they talk about PTSD and how like you remember it even though you're like a robot now or whatever. There's a lot of stuff going on in that movie, and like none of that was in this. He's just
because the
robot.
biggest problem with this movie was that there's no backstory. The backstory we find out 30 minutes in was fabricated and has changed 10 different times. So it's like if there had been an actual person that we got to know and like, oh, he is in love, but then he was lied to and thinks they wanted that reveal of like the oh ho ho, but instead it was like, well, now this makes it boring and uninteresting and unemotional.
Yeah, that's why when at the end they were like, oh no, main character's name that is escaping me. I do not remember what his name was.
I want to say it was like Gary or something, but it's not.
It was Gary.
It was something similar-ish.
Anyway, literally no clue what his name was. And that's why at the end I was like, good, I think that you should probably die and let what is happen. Because we don't even know how he actually died. Like, we don't know anything.
I'm saying.
It's so bizarre.
We don't know, did they just create him? Did they murder him?
Yeah,
and then use his body? Did he die in battle? Was he actually ever
He was the number one soldier. They really needed Vin Diesel. 50-something-year-old Vin Diesel was their best bet. What?
Yeah.
Get Anthony Mackie. That would have been good. Ooh, that would have been good. Ooh, Sebastian Stan.
Oh, yes.
As the Guy Pearce character, I think, perhaps.
Oh, younger. Okay.
I just needed someone with some life and campiness, and I was truly disappointed with Guy Pearce. I mean, I obviously, like, they didn't direct him in any way that was like...
Well, and that's why I think again, the action scenes were all really boring because, one, you find out at a certain point that, like, maybe none of this is even real. And
Yes.
two,
He can't die.
who cares because I don't know any of these people and I don't really give a fuck. Like,
Right.
there were no stakes aside from really the personal, for such a long time, it's the personal story of him and his wife. And I'm like, I mean, okay. And then it's like, oh, well, that's not even his wife. And like, who cares? And you're like, well, then really, I guess he's saving the world from other
It should have been him like
Bloodshot
trying.
people.
It should have been him trying to figure out what happened. I mean, that is sort of the plot of Universal Soldier. But like, once he went to visit his not wife, who was like, "Oh, I haven't seen you in 5 years," and he's like, "What?"
Right.
Then
Yeah.
it should have been a story of uncovering what his life truly was,
Yeah.
and et cetera. But the whole thing was just like, let's shift revenge from the to the next target, to the next target, to the
Right,
next
right.
target. All of those weird 6-inch penis jokes.
6 inches is not a lot.
Wait, that's not a lot?
That were
What
like,
was that?
all right,
6
I
inches
guess.
isn't big?
What? It was just.
I love
mean,
that girl, though. That was maybe my favorite moment
she
of
was
the...
fun. No.
No.
She was just like, I got one
No,
line
it's
to
not.
say. I have one word to say in this movie. I'm going to fucking nail it. I was like, you did. Nailed it. No. Because that was so dramatic. I mean, in the opening, it turns out the most engaging and fun part of the movie was the fake movie they were making.
Right.
Could she handle all 6 inches? Why am I asking you, eh?
Oh my, this really went
Yeah.
there. Holy
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah.
And it turned out it was all.
But then there was a lot of that. Like,
That's all from Guy Pearce's hackers. If anything, that hacker should be our lead. Because everything that's created, all of the sort of stylistic choices
Yep.
made of most of the scenes we're watching are from that guy.
Yeah.
That's weird too.
well, no, just the memories that he has.
But that's a lot of the scenes. Like, oh, it would be totally cool if there was a fight scene in a darkened tunnel with flour for 10 minutes.
But he didn't make that up. That actually happened.
Oh, that's true.
But also, like,
Yeah,
thank
I
God they
lost
were in
track.
an empty tunnel with neon lights. I don't know. It was a weird scene. At the end, he had, like, the hot, dumb guy has, like, the little army, like,
Not
he has, like,
Chris
the
Pratt?
arm suit.
Oh, when he turns into Doc Ock.
Yeah, he's like Doc Ock, Scorpion King. I don't
Yeah.
even, it was really weird. Yeah. But, like, his arm things had those little pneumatic, like, it was almost like
Yeah.
Alien, right? Where he's like, ha-cha! And then there'd be, like, a little one that comes out, you know?
Remember when they were like chasing him down and fighting, and then they got run over by a truck, and the only thing that got fucked up were his legs? Wouldn't it seem like those would be the only things that would survive? I was so confused by that. Oh no, my stainless steel, like whatever the fuck, fantastic nanobot legs were the only thing ruined when I was run over by a truck. What?
What?
I thought that was really weird. Oh no, he was like, it was like General Grievous or something. Like I was waiting for him to get, some lightsabers and to sort of like,
Yeah.
I guess at that point I was so like bored with what was happening that I wasn't even having fun with like, and then there's a guy with like fucking robot arms that's like flying around.
Like,
Because
ooh, yeah.
who cared about him? He seemed vaguely, psychotic
They were just slightly
or something.
evil. They were like,
thought-
oh, we're being blackmailed to stay here, otherwise we die, or we won't be able to walk. She seemed like the only one that really couldn't walk away, because then she would literally die. I guess all of them would lose the capability, because they all had the nanobots to some extent.
It wasn't
I
well
don't know.
drawn. It wasn't,
No.
But I thought it was really very strange. They're like fighting in the elevator and blah, or whatever, and he, the not Chris Pratt, General Grievous, fully kills his own backup, kind of for no reason. Like he's just.
I
like,
said, hold on, or whatever. I was like, oh.
and he just like throws him off a building, and I was like, that would have been helpful to have. He was on your side. Like I actually kept waiting for the blind guy to turn tables.
Right.
Because he seemed kind of cool and less psychotic, and to join Vin Diesel. But then it was just like, oh, and then his friend threw him off a building, even though he could have been helpful in that situation. Okay. And then he died. And then Vin Diesel suddenly was in Pleasantville. Why was he in black and white? Why was he in black and white? That was a pickle. That was a real pickle.
I will say the elevator thing reminded me of Skyscraper, which made me laugh.
Oh, yeah. It shouldn't be that hard to make a dumb, cheesy, fun action movie. No. I don't understand. I'm not even saying it's easy to go make a Die Hard. I'm just saying like a dumb, fun action movie that's 80 minutes where there's cool things that blow up and there's a chase and you mildly care what happens. I was so like, sure, whatever, who cares? Great. Oh, I guess he died. Oh, he didn't die. Cool. And then it ended. Great. Yeah. Now, what if Jason Statham was the star?
Because I will say, like, Mechanic Resurrection, dumb, but fun. Mostly fun.
Mostly fun. Yeah. All these action stars are really starting to age out. There's going to have to be a new wave.
Yeah, we got to get
I can't think of, like, I mean, I guess all of the Marvel people, but, like, I can't think of, like, a truly young action star at the moment.
They're trying to really make it be Tom Holland. And I'm like, I'm not angry at it because I like Tom Holland, but he's not like this kind of action star.
You know, it's tough to be Bruce Willis. Not everyone can. It's a gem, a diamond in the Ryman in the rough.
The diamond in the Ryman in the rough.
Yeah, well, it's like too bad they tried to do like, you know, Kellen Lutz can't act.
Nope.
Right?
Cannot.
Who was the other one?
Taylor Kitsch. Didn't work. Sebastian Stan might save us all. And Tony Cabell. Honestly, though, that was the biggest disappointment. He didn't have any machine guns. They didn't give him anything. He literally, that dance was the best part of the movie. And then it was like, that was it. And I was so upset. Bummer.
Also, though, it didn't seem like he was the same person in the tunnel car as he did in the...
He wasn't. His personality was different because he was supposed to be psycho killer in the first scene, and then his real personality was the guy in the car. But because we had no context for it, it was stupid. And then at this point, because they kill off him, and I was like, ooh, I hope that there's a bunch of clones or twins, or like I wanted Toby Cabell to be able to be a bunch of different personalities, basically.
That'd be fun.
Where like they keep having him play different, like in the game he's this way, but now he's this person.
Right.
And I had a lot of like ideas for how this could have been more fun. And they didn't take any of my suggestions. And then they drive off in an RV. The three of them.
Into the sunset, and then they cut it off, right? I was like, this is stupid.
Are you serious? Right into the sunset? Are we sure this ain't all a simulator?
You know, it should have been Lungs Girl and Hacker Guy with like an umbrella, just like, at least he's at peace. And then they like walk off and it's raining and...
Yeah.
And then there could be like a nanobot that like crawls out of the grave.
Love it.
And it's like, oh, cut to the director's name.
Are we sure this ain't all a simulator?
What's his life now? I mean, he's,
right?
You know,
that's what he should have died.
He's an invincible robot person.
But he makes up his own rules. He's going to be like...
His own rules? He makes them up, those own rules?
That's his own rules.
He makes up his own rules. It's probably in the comics.
Probably.
Maybe Anthony Mackie will save us all. I mean, he's great. Michael B. Jordan, too good for this, but
yes.
I'm into it. Like, give me some personality.
Yes.
Anyway, Bloodshot, wouldn't really recommend it. I'd say go watch Hurricane Heist, and you'll have a better night.
Probably, actually.
Fully. Cheers.
Cheers.
Oh, and he was in Kong Skull Island, too.
Oh, that's right. Even that was more fun than this.
Oh, 100%.